Gambhir's epic rant, the real reason behind his blowout with Oval Curator. This isn't just a simple disagreement. It's a clash of values that highlights how even the most respected figures in sports can find themselves at odds over fundamental principles. When India's head coach, Gautam Gambhir, confronted the Oval's chief curator, Fortis, during a training session, it sparked a controversy that went far beyond a mere argument. What began as a heated exchange between players and staff quickly escalated into a broader debate about respect, boundaries, and the delicate balance between tradition and modernity in cricket. But here's where it gets controversial. Was it appropriate for the curator to demand that coaches stay 2.5 meters away from the pitch? Or did Gambhir have a valid right to challenge the strict rules set by someone who seemed more concerned with preserving the antique nature of the ground than accommodating the needs of the players? Sachin Kotak, India's batting coach, stepped in to clarify the situation, insisting that the team had done nothing wrong and that the dispute was a misunderstanding rather than a serious breach of protocol. The conflict took on a personal tone when Gambhir accused Fortis of being overly protective and even arrogant in his approach. "You don't tell us what to do," Gambhir reportedly said, a statement that many found particularly jarring given the context of the conversation. Kotak defended Gambhir's stance, arguing that curators should recognize the expertise of coaches and players, not treat them as inferior. "It's a cricket pitch, not a museum piece that can't be touched because it's 200 years old," he emphasized. Yet, the controversy deepened when reports surfaced that Fortis had shouted at support staff while moving a 10-kilogram cooling box. This moment, combined with the earlier incident where Fortis sent a message to keep the coaches at a distance, left Gambhir feeling frustrated. "He doesn't even speak unnecessary things," Kotak noted, highlighting Gambhir's reputation for being straightforward and unyielding. What makes this story particularly compelling is the tension between tradition and progress. Curators like Fortis often operate under the belief that the ground must be preserved in its pristine state, but Gambhir and his team argue that the game evolves and rules must adapt. As the Anderson-Tendulkar Trophy approaches its final test at the Oval, this clash of perspectives could have lasting implications, not just for the teams involved, but for how cricket is played and perceived globally. So what's the real issue here? Is it a matter of differing priorities, or does it reveal a deeper flaw in how cricket authorities interact with players? Was it appropriate for the curator to address the staff in that manner? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because this isn't just about a single incident. It's about the values that shape the sport we love. Gautam Gambhir clashes with the Oval Groundsman ahead of 5th Test India Tour 2025. Cricket is a gentleman's game, but even gentlemen can find themselves embroiled in fiery disputes, especially when it comes to the sacred turf of a cricket ground. But here's where things get controversial. What happens when one of the most respected figures in Indian cricket clashes with a groundsman over something as seemingly trivial as access to a practice pitch? The fallout reveals deeper tensions between tradition and modernity, pride and practicality, and raises questions about who truly holds authority over the hallowed cricket field. The incident unfolded during India's first training session ahead of the 5th Test match against England at the Oval, part of the prestigious Anderson-Tendulkar Trophy. What started as routine preparation quickly escalated into a heated exchange between Gautam Gambhir, India's head coach, and Fortis, the head groundsman at the Oval. According to reports, the disagreement stemmed from differing expectations regarding the use of the practice square, a crucial space for teams preparing for high-stakes matches. It all began earlier that morning when members of India's coaching staff approached the main pitch to conduct their customary inspection before the game. This pre-match ritual allows teams to assess conditions and strategize accordingly. However, on this occasion, they were met with resistance. A member of the ground staff instructed them to maintain a distance of at least 2.5 meters from the pitch, an unusual request given the context. Speaking later about the situation, assistant coach Sitanshu Kotak expressed surprise at the directive, noting how such interactions are typically handled differently around the world. In every other venue we visited during this tour, Kotak explained, curators have been cooperative, sharing insights about grass-cutting schedules or weather-related adjustments. They might say, "We'll decide tomorrow based on the forecast." That's perfectly reasonable, but being told outright to stand so far away felt strange. He added, Gautam isn't someone who speaks unnecessarily or engages casually. If he reacted strongly, it was because the tone and approach seemed unwarranted. Things took a more dramatic turn later during practice, when support staff wheeled a cooling box onto the square while players honed their skills nearby. Fortis, seated atop a roller machine, reportedly shouted at the staff, objecting to the placement of the equipment. His reaction prompted an equally forceful response from Gambhir, who stepped in to defend his team. Kotak elaborated on the moment, saying, "Curators understandably want to protect their pitches, but communication matters. We ensure no damage occurs. For instance, our bowlers avoid marking the outfield with their spikes. We spray water carefully and take precautions under Gautam's guidance." At the end of the day, it's still a cricket pitch, not some untouchable artifact. He continued, "When Fortis yelled at our staff, it came across as unnecessarily aggressive. And let's be honest, the cooling box probably weighed no more than 10 kilos. Was it really worth shouting over?" As emotions flared, videos allegedly capturing the altercation began circulating online. While their authenticity remains unverified, snippets suggest Gambhir delivered a blunt message to Fortis, emphasizing respect for boundaries, both literal and metaphorical. "You're just a groundsman," he reportedly said. "Stay within your capacity. Don't tell us what to do." Though Kotak refrained from divulging specifics, he framed Gambhir's actions as protective rather than confrontational, highlighting the importance of mutual respect between visiting teams and local staff. Interestingly, this isn't the first time visiting teams have encountered challenges at the Oval. Since taking charge in 2012, Fortis has earned accolades for his work, including multiple wins of the ECB's Bernard Flack Memorial Trophy for outstanding multi-day pitches. Yet, his reputation for being meticulous borders on inflexibility, according to some accounts. Kotak noted, "Before arriving at the Oval, most teams know the curator isn't the easiest person to deal with. It's common knowledge." Fortis's concerns may stem from practical considerations, however. With domestic fixtures and the 100 tournament looming after the Test series, preserving the quality of the square is paramount. As Kotak pointed out, every day, batsmen slide to save runs, bowlers dive to stop boundaries. These activities impact the surface. Fortis likely worries about maintaining consistency across all pitches. This clash underscores broader debates within cricket. How much control should curators exert over visiting teams? Should traditional protocols evolve to accommodate modern demands? And perhaps most provocatively, does the passion for perfection sometimes cross into possessiveness? So, dear reader, where do you stand on this issue? Do you think curators should prioritize protecting their pitches above all else? Or should they adopt a more collaborative mindset? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. India versus England Test Series. Heated exchange between coaches at the Oval. Cricket rivalries can sometimes boil over into fiery confrontations, and the latest incident between India's coaching staff and ground staff at the Oval has added fuel to an already tense series. With emotions running high ahead of the decisive fifth test, what started as a routine training session turned into an unexpected clash that could have implications for both teams, and fans are eager to know why. But here's where it gets controversial. Was this just a minor misunderstanding, or does it reflect deeper frustrations simmering beneath the surface? On Tuesday, as India prepared for their crucial match against England starting Thursday, things took a dramatic turn during practice. Gautam Gambhir, India's head coach and former Test cricketer, found himself embroiled in a heated argument with Fortis, Surrey's head groundkeeper. According to reports, the disagreement stemmed from Fortis expressing dissatisfaction over how parts of the main square were being used by the Indian team. Gambhir reportedly fired back, asserting, "You can't tell us what to do. You're just the groundsman, nothing beyond." This exchange highlights not only the pressure of the upcoming game, but also raises questions about communication and respect between different roles within cricket. Adding another layer to the story, Sitanshu Kotak, India's batting coach, mentioned that Fortis appeared a bit arrogant when addressing members of the support staff. Apparently, tensions escalated when Fortis objected to a cool box being wheeled onto the square, an action he felt crossed certain boundaries. "He shouted and told our staff not to take it there," Kotak explained. While it's understandable for curators to be protective of their pitches, Kotak emphasized that there's a fine line between being cautious and coming across as overly aggressive. He even suggested that such behavior might explain why some players find working with curators challenging. "At the end of the day," Kotak remarked, "it is a cricket pitch. It is not an antique where you can't touch." After the dust settled, Fortis shared his perspective on the altercation. "It is quite a big game coming up," he said matter-of-factly. "I have never met Gautam Gambhir before today. You saw what he was like this morning. It's okay, I am fine. We have nothing to hide." Despite these reassurances, Fortis hinted that he may lodge a formal complaint if necessary. To which Gambhir retorted confidently, "You can go and report to whoever you want." Clearly, neither side seems willing to back down quietly. While the immediate cause of the dispute appears to revolve around pitch usage and logistical issues, one can't help but wonder whether underlying concerns played a role. For instance, India might harbor apprehensions about the nature of the test pitch itself. At the Oval, pitches often carry live grass early in the game, offering more pace and bounce compared to previous venues. Could this have contributed to the heightened sensitivity surrounding preparations? England's bowlers struggled significantly in the fourth test at Old Trafford, managing only 4 wickets in 143 overs, as India mounted a resilient rearguard effort led by Ravindra Jadeja and Washington Sundar. Their marathon innings ended on a sour note, however, with persistent sledging from English fielders after they declined Ben Stokes' premature handshake offer. This isn't the first time tensions have flared between the two sides. Earlier in the series, Zach Crawley and Ben Duckett faced sharp criticism from Shubman Gill during a contentious third test at Lord's. England retaliated by accusing Gill of deliberately slowing down play during his innings, while Mohammad Siraj faced penalties for his animated send-off of Duckett the following day. Though officials deemed physical contact between Siraj and Duckett accidental, the incident underscored the growing friction between the teams. So what does all this mean for the final showdown at the Oval? Will cooler heads prevail, or will lingering resentments spill over into the gameplay? And this is the part most people miss. Small disagreements off the field can sometimes shape the narrative of an entire match. As fans gear up for what promises to be a thrilling conclusion, one question remains. Do you think incidents like these add unnecessary drama? Or do they simply underscore the passion and intensity of international cricket? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.